Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I give a name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament of the Hebrew Torah, or Bible. But I used the King James Version of the Christian Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from the scattered testimony of the Old Testament prophets. The reason I used King James Version is because I was a Lutheran when I started this endeavor, so I was a Christian, and it was the most familiar book to me. I also later found out that I'm actually related to King James, so it's my family Bible on more than one level. Therefore, I'm justified in using it. Now, when I wrote the Book of Zion, I found contained within it a set of instructions on how to make first contact with the Grey. So, I fulfilled every stipulation of that plan, up to and including my final act of prophecy to publish Peace on YouTube and social media, as required, without the use of money. That's why you will not see commercials in my videos, because I'm not a money monger. Now, today I am reading from the 24th chapter of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the 21st chapter of the Book of Zion. It's called Behold, I Will Do a New Thing. And it goes like this. So, in this new age to come, women will have equal role. Throughout most of the centuries, women have been delegated to an inferior role. Men have insisted that women were unable to operate in a man's world. This, I believe, stems from two ideas. One idea is that women aren't smart enough to rule anything, but there is evidence that women had the preeminent role in the pre-flood days. Statues suggest that the goddess was the dominant form of authority. If that is so, then when civilization was destroyed, women were blamed and deemed too stupid to rule the next age. But if that is so, then men have also proven themselves to be too stupid to rule. Our current problems of climate change are proof that men are no better at world rule than women are. We don't know what laws our ancestors lived by, but they didn't do anything better than the men of our age have done. The other idea is that mankind has kept women subservient because it was known from the beginning that it would end when a woman stepped up to challenge man's rule, which is, of course, exactly what the prophecy predicts. And that is exactly what I and other women are doing. We are challenging the male rulership. It's because the prophecy speaks in terms of a feminine figure, a female prophet, who steps up in a time of great upheaval. It is a woman that will speak for God. And for that reason, men have tried for centuries and have succeeded in subverting women. Because deep down they knew that a woman would be their accuser in the fall of this age. For the entire history of Western society, men have tried to convince everyone that women didn't have the intelligence to understand how things worked. And it was because men feared the rise of a feminine Messiah, Zion, and the entire prophecy is of a feminine uprising. Zion leads the way, a female, bringing about the end of Western dominance. And the men have always known that. So, God is doing a new thing. Women are going to be equal to men in all regards, equal governing power, and equal place in society. In our new age, we will not judge each other based on sex or any other criteria, except for personal worth. No one is better than anyone else. We are equal in the eyes of God. God, and God, male, female, and black, white, brown, or gray. We are all equal in the eyes of all who are above us. In a just society, all things are equal. All people are equal. All laws are equal. All needs are equal. And all share in the workload is equal. We all bleed red. We all require the same basic needs. In Zion, priority is equal in all things. So, compromise will be needed to ensure operations run smoothly. But the point is, society, to be just, must give equal weight to all issues, and everyone must be equal, an equal part of the whole. So, in order to ensure an equal number of female leaders, our organization will entail a feminine bias. Women will be, however, taking over their innate responsibilities from the men who commandeered it when they took over the government of our age. There are some things that men just aren't meant to take care of, and vice versa. These social roles are part of the innate ability of women to nurture. Medicine was always a woman's field. Teaching, childcare, farming, cooking, domestic needs. These are a woman's domain. But invention is also part of the feminine. We are by nature creators. We have the creative force. Science is also our field. We are creators manipulating matter. When we begin to take charge of these feminine domains, we can balance our male counterparts. Men are the masters of matter. They are the essence of the material plane. They use matter to create and to destroy. Mercantile, mechanical things, engineering, strength of form, force of physical nature, hunting, protecting, enforcing the laws, organizing, governing. Men counterbalance the feminine, creating creating a force with a solidity of the material and metaphysical planes. By creating a government that is chaired by a joint ruling couple, i.e., king and queen, as is foretold as the sacred marriage. A just rule can be maintained. The male needs will be tempered by the female needs, and vice versa. Each gender's priorities will ensure the just balance between that which is nurturing and that which is more analytical or machinations. So we will create a government run by both men and women equally. We will, of course, not bother with the references to race because my people come in every color, grade, race, everything. We come from every form. We come from every economic background. We come from every family and every nation. So our new form of society will be co-equal form of rule, where everyone is represented. I, as the author of the Book of Zion, am entitled to the role of Zion. And this chapter not only foretells the role women will play in our future government, but it foretells of my reward for enduring the trials of ascension. I earned the right to be equal to a man, and I will be very well rewarded for my choices. Once we get to our new home, our gates will always be open to allow our fellow humans to bring us their goods for sale off world. Our cut of this barter will ensure that the nation of Zion need never worry about finances. We may not use money in Zion, But as long as the rest of the nations use it, we will have all the money that we would ever need. The prophecy says that Zion will travel once the nation of Zion is established. It is during this time that she, i.e., I, will go to the ancient sites of Babylon or the land of Iraq, and it is there that the final issue of the drug war will be decided in Zion's favor, which is not surprising in that this region is known for its ancient use of hashish, a marijuana form. So the final victory of the war against my people should play out in the Middle East where it all began. And it's not just the Zionite female that will gain authority. In Jerusalem, the role of females will be increased as the archaic attempt of men to stop the power as co equal parts of society. Women will rise to their fore. So Israel, too, will begin to allow a feminine role in government. Whenever something new comes into being, it is at the expense of that which precedes it. In this case, the male dominance of society, which is not notable and deep seated in the Middle East. So it is there that the final battle of the sexes and of drugs will play out. But it is against Israel that it will play out. The fall of the male dominated society of the region will be undermined. It will undermine the social order that we all suffer under. The undermining of the male dominated social order has always been underway since the 60s and 70s. Women's liberation began at the same time as the first prohibitions of the drugs back in the 19 teens. This parallels the timeline of drug use and the female empowerment, and it is not a coincidence. The use of drugs to access innate powers is as ancient as it gets. Drug use is a component of magic. It is a feminine tool used by ancient priestesses in their duties as oracles and channels of the higher powers. This use of drugs is a feminine means of accessing the innate creative force used in spellcasting. Drug use creates witches of every woman who uses them. That is why women found their power and their voice at the same time that they found drugs. If we use drugs as a tool of spirit and not as a good time, we might find that we are far more powerful than we could have ever imagined. This is, of course, a working theory. I am high as I write. I'm always high. Being high allows me to find the right words to say what I intend. What I don't have, when I don't have my smoke, the words are much harder to find. I use drugs to create my words. When we get to our mountain home and in Jerusalem, the gray will give us access to deeper wells of water than we dig. They will bring forth a garden in the desert. Our southernmost mountains are in the desert. The gray will help us draw up water to create a garden for our people. Once the final battle is won, the world will for a time enjoy peace. But those who are smart will be preparing for a possible asteroid strike or other global event. We will create our inner mountain home to create a balance in nature and to become a safe refuge in times of storm. Our climate will require a safe refuge for upcoming problems. And I'm going to end there for this session. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May they teach you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it, and make that your guild choice when we get to camp, our strikeout camp, 420. It's coming up. Anyway, my name is Zion. If you use drugs, stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know. I wrote 2 books about it. I will never say goodbye, so I'm going to say later now.